Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. And today, I'm doing things a little bit differently. So, first of all, I'm not doing an entire, uh, I'm not going to be coding for this video. I just wanted to walk you guys through basically my entire coding journey from when I started to now. And also, I'm actually not using the headset, if you guys have noticed. And I hope the sound is fine. Let me know if you guys don't like it, and I'll put the headset back on. But I know there's also going to be some noise from outside, because this is a house of musical people, so they're over here playing music. Anyway, um, so yeah, today I wanted to go through basically my whole journey while coding, and for this video, I was originally going to make like 5 minutes about me talking about my entire journey and then 5 minutes of me explaining what I recommend. And that uh, I felt like that would be too rushed. So instead, I'm going to be recording two videos. Um, this first video, I'll be talking kind of calmly, about everything I've done with coding. And then I'll have a second video explaining basically what I recommend you guys do. And also a more simplified version of this video, sort of like 1 minute long. Um, But yeah, so let's get started. So 2016 is when I was first introduced to code with Scratch. So not really code. It's kind of a one of those no code stuff or visual code. And I actually learned Scratch in my sixth grade class. And yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's not real coding, but I was able to learn the basics of like different types of loops and if statements, conditional statements. And so yeah, that was cool. Um, then 2018 to 2019. So I'm actually going to have this basically in school years. So like 2018, 2019 school year. The reason that I'm doing it like that through school years is because that's how I mostly remember everything that I've done. So yeah, December of 2018 was when I first really, yeah, honestly, it might have been like a few months earlier. I think I started like around November, but that's when I started learning to code on Solo Learn. And of course, I was watching those videos. They're like, oh, Python or HTML, or sorry, Python or JavaScript. And well, currently I'm looking to become a web developer. And normally it's like, oh, so you follow that web developer path, but no, this I was all over the place for this. So I didn't start with HTML. I actually started with JavaScript because I think I was kind of like thinking, oh, Python's too simple or something like that. I don't know. But in January was when I really started with HTML and CSS, and at this time I was actually coding with one of my friends, and that was honestly really cool, to have someone there with me the whole time. And that we were just messing around. It was some really dumb stuff, and I created my first project, which was basically this. Like now, I call it the button project because it's really dumb. And so like I would hide this right here, and or I believe this was actually in a separate file. The script was in a separate file, but basically, yeah, I would literally do this, change the seconds, and have it just say something like "No one likes it." Literally, that was literally it. That wasn't. It was really dumb, but I mean, it was fun to do that stuff back then. I'm going to get to that one in a while. So yeah, that's it for the 2018-2019 school year. So then the 2019-2020 school year. So I was a freshman in high school. So in August, I tried to relearn JavaScript because throughout that time from since the last time, since the button project. I um I really didn't code anymore, so kind of sucked. Plus, I didn't have a computer, so I was coding on my phone. And at this point was when we got a computer, and I was beginning to code on a computer and starting to learn, more real stuff. Kind of try to at least. December was when I created my first quote unquote website. Yeah, it was this. I had a little, I made this for my girlfriend at the time, and it was, simple. It has that little like blog style, and it and the thing was I was using Solo Learn for this, so it was kind of like this, like on Trinket, where it just shows up right here. So it wasn't really a real website, but it was kind of like my first go at building a website, kind of, I guess. So then in May of 2020, I created my first quote unquote game. So quarantine had started, and I created this. Rather, I took this idea from someone else, and then I created this, which is basically like a text-based game using these alerts and prompts. It was a FNAF game, and there we go. Huh. It's a bit broken, I guess, but yeah, I literally just copied this code over from what is it? I was using SoloLearn at the time, but yeah. So then after that, in July, so here's the thing: the entire time I've wanted to be a game developer. Like back then, I wanted to be a game developer, so I created this, the Scratch game. It's you guys could see the link right here. You guys could see the name of it. I'm not going to go through it so that much. Yeah, it was a Star Wars game. It's really simple. Um, I think I actually spent like a month or a few weeks on it. Yeah, that was the first real thing I did, and it was on Scratch. So yeah, up to you if that's coding or not. 2020 2021 school year was my sophomore year, um, and this year was actually the quarantine year. So in December, I finally decided to learn Python. I finally got over that. Oh, I hate Python, even though I never coded in Python. And I began coding in Python, and I loved Python. And at this point was when I moved to Trinket.io. So that's where all my projects were going to be from then on. And then in January, I created my first text-based game, which is this game right here. Um, I spent a month on this. It was there's parts that were so annoying, but there it is. It's kind of do stuff like this. Um, uh, you could buy stuff from the shop. Um, but this was honestly kind of a bad game. Many reasons. I was still starting with Python, so I didn't really understand everything all too well. But I mean, and I remember I gave that to my friend, and I was like, "Hey, check out this game I made," and it was really broken. It did not work half the time. So, but actually, if you guys are going to be coding, I do recommend like doing that sort of stuff. Build stuff for your friends instead of going straight to production level stuff. Just because at least you start off, it starts off like a hobby, and you could see if you actually like it before moving on to like, you know, creating an entire website and deploying it. But anyway, in February, I this is when I got really. I was thinking, okay, I learned Python really fast. I'm gonna learn C++ really fast, and I'm gonna keep going and going and going. I was going to learn C sharp after that, but I literally just learned like the bare basics of C++. and I moved on to GDB Online Compiler, which is where I was starting my projects. And that one, it looks uglier, but it works. And then in March, I started my second text-based game, but I never actually finished it. But this is what it is. Um, yeah, it's all this stuff. Now we can run it, and then it's whoa, it's a little uglier here. And I guess I never actually finished this very well. I don't know, but there it is. Um, that was my C++ stuff, and again, I wanted to be a game developer. So in April, I learned Pygame, and I don't remember if I did anything with Pygame. I know I learned it. I had a tutorial on it, and I learned it, and it was whatever. And yeah, I started um, a Pygame version of this first text-based game, and so this is actually the first time that I used PyCharm, and the only time I used PyCharm. But here it is. This is all we were able to finish. Um, my sister was actually helping with the artwork. I actually did the sprite. She did the background, and yeah, that was all we did because we lost motivation. So yeah, it sucked. But anyway, uh, so yeah, I learned Pygame, and then in May, I tried to learn several game engines. I went from actually, I didn't like Unity because it was C sharp, and I had been learning C++, and I was trying to learn Unreal Engine, and that didn't work out too well. And I believe at this time I also tried to look a little bit into Godot, and that didn't work out for me either. And so 2021, this is the most recent stuff that has happened. So yeah, at this point, so 2020 2021 school year, I was that was barely my third year coding, and even then, I hadn't like done anything really big except for my first text-based game. And 2022, this was my fourth year coding. So at this like currently, while I'm recording this video, it's been 4 years since I started programming, and yeah, so this is literally just in the last year. So in late 2021, I tried creating new games. New text-based games. It didn't work out very well. Um, and then, ye- yeah, 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 that's. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention. Um, I think it was around March when my sixth grade teacher, computers teacher, the one who taught the class where I learned Scratch, actually messaged me and was like, "Hey, I saw your video. Could I check out the source code for your project?" And I was like, "Yeah, for the text-based game." And well, he suggested I learned object-oriented programming, and that was cool. So late 2021, yeah, I tried creating new games, but I didn't have the right motivation for it. Then in June, this was barely like 6 months ago, I there's a summer school class for data science, and I took the class, and it was cool. I mean, at the time I was like, maybe I might do data science, but now I'm like, nah, data science is cool, but it's not my thing. Um, I analyzed some data for the school, which was pretty cool. Um, yeah, that was a really easy project. And then in one day, I created this giant scraping project, which basically uh, I went through the Amazon HTML code, and I took that and created this project right here. Um, this is the entire explanation of what it is. Um, I made the HTML files into TXT files, and I used the Wayback Machine to look at um, older versions of the page to analyze. This is basically what I did. I analyzed all of it, created graphs, and yeah, this is what came out of it. Um, so I was analyzing books, and this is how long the certain books were in the top 30 books. So around like 60 books were up there for only 1 week. And then, well, you can see everything else right here. It was like 10 books were there for 10 weeks because I analyzed only 10 weeks. And this was kind of the placement. It's flipped because, I didn't learn everything perfectly for Matplotlib. But as you can see, okay, where the crawdad sing was number one. I think I don't remember if week one was the most recent week or the latest week. I think it was the most recent week, so this whole thing is backwards. But I believe my final conclusion was like where the crawdads sing and it ends with us were like two of the highest. I mean, you could look at the graph right here. Those were like two of the highest rated books, and these are just the 10 books that were up there for all the 10 weeks. But yeah, that's basically what I did. Um, and I know that teacher was like always bragging to other teachers, like, "Yo, this guy knows this much," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I know that much." But yeah, that was a cool little project that I built. Um, but that's like barely when I really started doing a lot of coding. So in July, I learned basic stuff for TK-Enter or tkinter. Um, and then I created this repo, uh, which was just a GUI where you could log in or sign up, and there's literally nothing when you log in or sign up. So it was kind of pointless. So right here, I say it's like sort of a template for people to use. Um, but yeah, that I honestly dropped TK-Enter really quickly because the my sixth grade teacher, he was all like, "Yo, I mean, it's not really that productive. No one really uses TK-Enter." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna move on." But also, I built a resume website, which I still haven't published it, but I built it with Wix, and I'm still trying to update it and fix it up um, before I actually publish it. Anyway, in August, so like just the beginning of the school year, I learned Flask, and Flask was cool, but I thought it was a little bit complicated with the I had to import so much just for the forms. So I honestly really didn't like it that much. But this is when I began learning data structures and algorithms, and I only really learned uh, single and double linked lists at this time. And over time, I've been trying to learn a little bit more each month. Anyway, in September, I learned object-oriented programming, not from an object-oriented programming video. Like I had known about classes and stuff, but I never liked it. But it was a Pygame tutorial, and that's what really taught me how to use classes and stuff. And because of that, I started a new text-based game, which is this one right here. Um, I have it open down here, but I can't really run it because there's not much to it. Um, but yeah, and I started using a classes to do stuff. Whoa, yeah. and it was really cool learning how to work with classes. And honestly, I still use it a lot because classes are really fun. But anyway, in October is that's when I started learning Django. Um, and that's also when I created my Twitter copy website from scratch. And what I mean from scratch is it wasn't from a tutorial. I just I had watched some tutorials on how to build a website, and then I just thought, okay, now I'm gonna set those all that stuff aside, and I'm gonna just build something that I want to build. And so that is when I built this one, um, which it's all this code right here. A really cool project. Honestly, it's still my favorite project that I've built. Um, oops, no, that's not what I meant to do. I believe I forgot how to run a server. Hold up. Uh, I forgot how to run a server. Oh, it's like I forgot. Run, um, okay, Python manage.py manage server. I haven't done this in so long, dude. So Python manage.py manage server. Yep, wrong. Okay, enter. Now we run the server. There we go. So this is the website that I built. Oh, it's really cool. And like all the CSS I did on my own and stuff. Um, I think I forgot to. Oh, and then there's a whole like login and stuff. Uh, register and there we go. Oh my god, I forgot about this whole thing, dude. Yeah, there it is. Anyway, yeah, it's this whole cool thing. Um, but like, this isn't supposed to be a demo video. I have one up on my channel, I think. Uh, but yeah, that's awesome. Anyway, um, so yeah, I created that website, and in November I continued to study data structures and algorithms, and I created a the repository with all these. I have binary search right here. Um, I'm going to do a sorting algorithm soon. Uh, different types of tree traversals. Um, I have doubly linked list, queue, stack, and a binary search tree. I started working on a red black tree. I couldn't do it. That's too complicated for me, at least for now. But anyway, um, I think that's it. Yeah, and then most recently, actually this past week, I've been learning React. So I've always hated JavaScript, but I finally learned React, and honestly, it's really cool. And really soon, I want to create a video where I create an web application, which is going to have React in the front end and Django in the back end. That's gonna be awesome. Um, I think I might stream it on YouTube and just upload the stream afterwards. But yeah, that's basically so. Yeah, for the most part, I learned all the main stuff this past year. Ever since June is when I really started learning all this stuff. But yeah, that's my journey. That's how I've learned how to code in 4 years. And yeah, I believe that's it. So Next, I'm going to be uploading a video on basically what I recommend to do specifically for a full stack or back end engineer. Because I don't know anything about front end as much, but yeah. Um, and then I want to start a how to code series where I'm gonna start it with one HTML video, um, one short CSS video, and then I'm going to start my Python tutorial. Um, I'm going to record the HTML video and maybe the CSS video today as well. I don't know when it's going to come out, either later today or tomorrow. But yeah. Um, so thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.